if you were smart, you would argue it as the 3-in-1 persona, which would make it kind of a brother, but you're not. You're stupid, so you just said he was a brother. Then we go to Hephaestus. I can never say this moron's name, the blacksmith, the fucking Hephaestus. I'm saying Hephaestus. Fuck it. Who was the smith of the gods. There's a couple origins of him too, that either Hera bore him out by himself, he was ugly, she threw him down so he broke his legs. There's also the theory that he was an offspring of both Zeus and Hera, and Zeus was like, you're ugly, and threw him out. Yeah, his legs are broken, that's his big thing. His legs are broken and he makes cool shit with a smith. Rick claims that because in smithing you use fire, therefore he's kind of the god of fire. Not really, but he is. Which is moronic. But, and compares it to Uriel, the angel Uriel, saying that Uriel is the angel of fire, which is also incorrect. Uriel is the angel of light. And repentance, actually. Uriel's name, actually, I believe, means light of God. It's something to do with light. Uriel is an angel of light, which is not the same as fire. The only way you could make the connection of fire to Uriel is that some people think that Uriel is, again, the angel guarding Eden with the fiery sword. That's a big stretch. Doesn't make Uriel the angel of fire, and it's fucking moronic. Then we have Hermes and Cassiel. Hermes has the boots with the fucking wings on them, and Rick claims that, it makes him go fast. Hermes is the messenger of the gods. Him being fast is secondary. His primary purpose is that he's fucking the messenger of the gods. More attributes related added to him later is him being like the patron god of athletes and runners and shit like that. But he's a messenger. That's his purpose. He's a messenger god. Which still doesn't matter because he compares Hermes to Cassiel. Cassiel, who Rick claims is the angel of speed. Cassiel is the angel of solitude and tears. In the Jewish tradition, in the Kabbalah tradition, Cassiel doesn't move. Cassiel just watches everything unfold. Just sits there by himself, cries, I guess, and watches everything happen. Now, supposedly, and because, he claims it's all speed, the only way you get Cassiel as the angel of speed is if you read into a separate writing. It's not part of the Kabbalah. It's a Kabbalahist that wrote a book that was a magic book that connected Cassiel to speed. That if you put Cassiel on the wands or whatever, it would help a speed spell or something. That's not a view of the tradition, view of the tradition. That's actually correct. That's not a view of the religion. That's one person extrapolating out. So bullshit. Hera and Ramael. Hera. The comparison here is that they're both embodiments of mercy. With a lot of these that I've been saying, he's been right on one and the connection's just been weak, or he's been kind of right but still wrong, and it's just a matter of they didn't match up. He's actually wrong both here. Neither of them have anything to do with mercy. Hera, goddess of mercy. He says this because of some revolt that Hera led because she got pissed because Zeus was cheating on her, and he fucking hung her out to dry, and she cried, and then all the other gods begged him to, release her so they could get some fucking sleep, and he did. And so that Hera represents Zeus's mercy, which is bullshit. In that case, Hephaestus is the god of mercy because he built a throne that Hera could not remove herself from, and she started bitching. I'm noticing a trend here with Hera. She started bitching, so the other gods kept begging him, please come, and remove her from the throne, and then he finally does. So if that's mercy, then fucking Hephaestus is the god of mercy, because he fucking did the same thing. And otherwise, she's a vengeful bitch. She's a vengeful, jealous bitch. She hates everyone. She has mercy on no one. She forgives no one. So that's wrong. So then we go to Ramael. Okay, maybe Ramael is actually the angel of mercy. Wrong! Ramael is the angel of hope. So the whole thing's just wrong. Then we go to Athena and Camael. Now he said... do you say Chamael? I don't know, it's spelled Chamael, but it's Camael. A lot of these angels have like 8 spellings, because they were probably originally 8 different angels, but that's besides the point. His point is about wisdom. Now, Athena is the goddess of wisdom, among other things, goddess of war. But like I said, she's the goddess of strategy, so that's where the wisdom comes in. She's a wise war giver, whatever, warmonger. So, okay, I'll give you Athena. Okay. But Camael isn't anything to do with wisdom. Camael is the angel of love, divine justice, and joy. Boom. You're wrong. Artemis and Raguel. I always think of Ragu when I say that because it's spelled R-A-G-U-E-L. But Raguel. It's probably like, no, Ragael would be different. Raguel. It's fucking Raguel. Okay. He claims both of these are the favorites. Artemis is the favorite son of Zeus. Raguel is the favorite angel of God. Wrong. Artemis was loved by Zeus, but the prevailing opinion is that Athena was actually Zeus's favorite daughter. Not necessarily his favorite son or favorite child overall, but Athena was his favorite daughter, largely because a lot of people theorize that many of the myths say that Athena actually sprung out of Zeus's mind, fully armored, ready to fucking fight. As this whole pissing battle between Hera and Zeus, that Zeus was like, Hera had a kid without Zeus, like, I can just do it by myself. And Zeus was like, well, fuck you, I can have a kid by myself too. Boom! So, the prevailing opinion is that Athena was actually Zeus's favorite, which completely destroys the theory of Artemis being Zeus's favorite. He also cites the whole wish thing, like, well, nobody else got wishes. A, Artemis was 3. B, that's not even a unified belief. That's one of the myths that, you know, she on her 3rd birthday, she sat on his knee. Or, no, wait, not even on his knee. Some of it's just, oh, what do you want for your birthday? And she says, well, I want these 6 wishes. And she lists off the things she wants. She wants to be a virgin, blah, blah, blah. It's not necessarily on his knee. It's not always necessarily wishes. Sometimes she goes crying into his lap because Hera's a bitch. Sometimes she just finds the shit on her own. It's not unified. It's bullshit. And it needs to be unified if you're claiming that a modern religion is ripping it off. If it's fucking truncated and there's 3 different versions and one of them happens to line up with one of the other versions of this other angel that nobody in the fucking religion actually recognizes, it's your bullshit. It's schizophrenia. But anyway, Raguel. God's favorite. No. Raguel is the angel of justice, so that's removing us from Artemis as well. She was the goddess of the hunt. And Raguel is actually referred to as a fallen angel. So, unless you're going to start to really go to the whole thing of like, well, Lucifer was God's favorite. And that's just it too. Lucifer's God's favorite in sometimes. Lucifer's the highest angel. Or Lucifer and Michael, and they both were loved by God, and then Lucifer fell, blah, 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 blah. But to claim that Raguel is God's favorite, there's no basis for that whatsoever, and I'd be really intrigued to find the basis of that, because I bet you it's some bullshit Wiccan pagan blog with people that don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Know what they're talking about their faith, but don't know what they're talking about somebody else's faith, and they co-opt some of the symbols. The same way that Christians co-opt the Old Testament without knowing what the fuck they're talking about. And Jews sit there and go, that's not what we said. And the Christians are like, no, this is what you said. It's the same fucking thing. The pagans take the Christian symbols, or the Christians take the pagan symbols, and go like, no, this is what it's supposed to mean. It's like, no, that's not what it's supposed to mean. That's stupid. So then we go to, yeah, we're gonna keep going here. I'm probably at like 6 minutes right now. We got Apollo and Raphael. Now, this is the one he gets right and still gets wrong. And he's apparently recanted, but not really, because he's like, well, I'm still right. Like, no, you're wrong, and here's why. This is where I'm going to talk about credibility. He compares Apollo to Raphael. Apollo, among other things, was the god of healing. Okay, boom, correct. Raphael is the angel of healing, among other things. Okay, correct. There's a similarity. There's a lot more differences, but there's the similarity. However, he refers to Apollo as the god of the moon. And then I'm like, no, he's the god of the sun. And then his response was, well, no, the Apollo moon mission. Okay, so wait a minute. Here's a great research about the origin of the god of a Greek god was that the American science community space program fucking named a mission after the sun god. The sun god who would ride his chariot across the sky, which is probably why they named it Apollo, because it's the whole idea of going into space. Really? That's your fucking grand logic? And then he's your candidate. Well, okay, he's the sun god. But that's not the point. But it is the point, because it speaks about your credibility. If you don't know, if A, you don't know, B, when corrected, actually will argue using bullshit logic, and C, finally recant, but then still try to say, well, no, that's not the point. You're not credible. If you don't know that Apollo is the sun god, you don't. How can anything else you say be trusted? Mind you, I've gone through and explained all this other shit and why it's wrong. But it does matter if you, because that's a glaring fucking. I don't even know where he got the moon god thing. That's insane. But okay, that's wrong. Okay, now if he just said, "Oh, okay, you know what, brain fart. I'm sorry. You're right. You're right. I'm wrong." What that shows is not only are you credible, but you put being right above, or you put the truth, you put the truth above you personally being right. The fact that he didn't, the fact that he put himself as a person, as I'm right, above the truth, and didn't even stop for a second and go, oh shit, let me double check that, shows that this shit is wrong. And it can't be trusted, even if it's right, even if some of it's right, like this, Apollo and Raphael, okay, you can make that strenuous link, even though there's a whole bunch of other shit that they have attributes of which are not connected. You still can't trust it, because so much else is wrong, and he's not credible. There's not credibility there. You can't just put faith in what he says, or you can put faith in him to correct himself. So there's that. We're almost there. Then we get Hestia and Azrael, which he spelled wrong. Hestia, who was the goddess of the family, kind of, represented in a hearth. You know, they would have a public hearth in many of the villages, and they would never let the fire go out, or if they did, it was a very ritualistic kind of thing. He claims that in this way, because she represents family, because she's kind of a midwife character, not really, but vis-a-vis the family, I'll fucking give it to him. I don't care, because that's how wrong he is. I can give this to him and he's still wrong. That she kind of represents hope. Okay, that's bullshit. That's complete bullshit. But let's go with it. Let's go with it. Yeah, absolutely. She's the angel. She's the god of hope, goddess of hope, right? And he compares it to Azrael, who he claims is the angel of hope. Azrael's the angel of death. Azrael's not an evil angel, he's not a fallen angel. But he's the angel of death. He's the angel that comes and takes you when you die. That's not hope. That's pretty much the opposite of hope. I mean, I'm not afraid of death. I'm okay with death. But even I would never say, well, the angel of death is the same thing as the angel of hope. Again, so radically fucking wrong that it hurts my brain I can't even understand. Okay. Then we have the last two, because he's done, let's see here, did he do the 12? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, yeah, okay, so here we go, 12, because this big 12 thing, just fucking retard, Zeus and Yahweh, okay,